What's up, family? This is your boy D.GRAY back again doing this thing that I do. It's the eve of New Year's Eve, and it is actually the new moon Sabbath for those Israelites out there that I'm observing. But I think the video I'm going to put out today is fairly important. So, Kam Yasharallah to the other Israelites out there. I'll be talking more about that on the weekend about new moon and some other things, some other spiritual things that I feel like I should talk about as it pertains to this faith I'm in. So, wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming inauguration of our new President Biden and Vice President Harris. Been watching a lot of videos, been checking them out, trying to get a feel of, how I feel about it in particular, about this new administration that's coming in. You got the other side still fighting, some of them still fighting to delegitimize this election. Had some people that I know kind of come out and still believe that the election was rigged. People lose elections, man. He lost the election. Trump lost the election. That's the way it is. And so this is like the messiest thing I've ever seen as far as politics in presidential elections since, I was paying attention to it. So with that being said, we have to start getting our mind around the people that we're going to be dealing with for the next, 4 years. I stay watching videos about the conscious community. If you don't know that much about me, I'm not going to say involved, but I'm very cognizant of the conscious community and some of the things that need to happen. I think it's a movement that kind of rivals the early 90s of this whole Pan-African back to Africa thing we were doing back in the early 90s. But I think right now these new Gen Zers have taken it to a whole new level, and they've inspired us, they've motivated us because they are woke. However, there's a lot of garbage that goes along with this. And I think that it's important that we elders focus ourselves on things that temper some of it. We can't just run amok with this woke mindset and we're not paying attention to what's actually going on with these people that we're electing. And I say all of that to say that being in this so-called conscious community, we can't just go along with the program that's been going on for the last 50, 60, 70 years. It's not that kind of party anymore. Most people we know vote along Democratic lines, and that's fine. I guess that's the best we have. We got a lot of black folks that deal primarily in the Democratic world. Don't know how much good they've done. I guess we have had some progression in some of the things that are happening to the African American community, but we also have to understand that, we've kind of gone along with what white Democrats have been doing. Not to say that's always the best for us. I've always said that we're always striving to be equal to, but not better than. And there are certain things that they will allow us to be better than them in. The Democratic Party talks a lot about being equal to, but not necessarily taking the power or having the power or planning into the power, maneuvering into the power that we probably need to help the African descendants of slaves of this country. And that's a distinct racial group in this country, whether you want to believe it or not. And somehow we always get melded in with people of color and other civil rights causes, which I think is kind of detrimental to us as a people. And I think that we need to pay more attention to specifically Black issues. But what tends to happen is we start following so-called white or other ethnicities leaders to validate our own fight. We start following their rhetoric. And as long as they're saying the right buzzwords, we think that they're about our business. I think that's a lot of the reason why we follow the Democratic Party, because they say all the right things that give us warm fuzzies that are not necessarily always good for us as a community. In this past election, what we've done is we've hung our hat on Biden and Harris because they're not Trump. We've hung our hats on them because they're not Trump. And I think we've said from the beginning that we don't know that this was probably, this whole field wasn't probably the best field for us. We got spoiled a little bit with Barack. And that's not always to say that he was always looking out for our best interest as a singular ethnic group. But what tends to happen is once we've done that, once we've hung our hats on somebody who's speaking for us, saying all the right buzzwords, there's a little bit of contempt that they have. As if we owe them something. And I think we've gone this whole election cycle in the belief that, we should be voting Democrat. We should be dealing with them because they say the right things. And President-elect Biden has made it clear. And he said this early on, and we all remember.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't Black.
I've been Black for 51 years, and to be quite honest with you, I didn't even know who Joe Biden was until Barack Obama validated him. He didn't come up in Black people conversation. He act like he's Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson out here. I don't know what this clown has done other than this crime bill, apparently, that put a lot of brothers and sisters in jail. So for him to be walking around like he's some kind of white Martin Luther King, it is ridiculous. I was watching one of the videos by that guy Tariq Nasheed. I told you guys just there watching this dude, man. This guy, he's got the receipts, man. He brought my attention to this video. And it's actually a meeting between Biden, Harris, and a bunch of civil rights leaders. Now, I don't know who decided that we need a bunch of leaders as a group. I don't know 80% of these people that are sitting here in the video I'm about to show you. These are our leaders. I know Reverend Al's big head ass. I mean, I've been seeing him my entire life, I remember Reverend Al back when his suits were big, Now he's sitting up here, in a group. He's a leader, I guess, of Black folks. I personally, these people don't speak for me. These people don't speak for me. These are not my leaders. I don't know these people. I don't know what Reverend Al has done in 75, however many years. That's really moved us into the place where we're even equal to white folks and some of these other groups that are out here. But he's done more than me. How about that? We'll just say that. I'll give him that much in the civil rights area. He's probably done a lot more than me. But I'm 51 years old, and we're still having the same problems we were having back in the 80s when I started actually paying attention to this stuff. As a high school senior. So Biden's in this meeting with these so-called Black leaders. And it was brought to my attention by Tariq Nasheed when I was watching this video. So I went and watched this video on my own. And I want to go through this video step by step, piece by piece, so that we understand just how entitled this man believes he is when it comes to black folks. And I want to break it down piece by piece. So I'm going to be stopping a little bit, commenting on certain parts of it. There's 40 minutes in this video. I'll try not to spend 40 minutes speaking, but there's some certain points in this video that I think that need to be addressed. So right now, one of the leaders was talking, and he brought up a point, and I guess Biden got tired. I guess it was nap time. I guess he got tired of listening to these Negroes complain or tell him what he should be doing or calling him to task for, some of the things he should be doing once he gets in. Now, listen to the video, watch the video, and watch how frustrated he gets with these so-called black leaders.
Fine. I'll get to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I'm the only person who's ever run on 3 platforms that I was told could not possibly win the election, and I never ceased from it. One was on restoring the soul.
First of all, he needs to take the bass out of his voice. You could tell right away he's being contentious with these leaders as he begins to break down what he's done for the black community. He needs to take the bass out of his voice. Now all of a sudden he's aggressive as hell, like he's debating Trump right now. But this is the contempt in his voice. But let's continue.
This country because of what I saw happen in Charlottesville. That was it. No one else was talking about it. The words of presidents matter. Nobody else, no progressive, was talking about it. I did. My son Bo used to have an expression. He'd say, remember, Dad, home base. It ain't worth the job if I can't say what I believe. I didn't want to run this time. I ran this time because of the racist son of a gun who was president of the United States of America. That's why I ran. And you remember, a lot of you told me, talking about the soul of America was going over people's heads. They didn't know what we're talking about. The words of a president matter. What a president says matters. And you've never seen me shy away. In the middle of the debate, I called him a racist. In the middle of the debate with him, I took on white supremacy.
So, okay. He acts like that, like that's the only thing that should matter. Like that's the only thing that should matter. I took on white supremacy. You're supposed to take, what did Chris Rock say? You don't get credit for shit you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take on white supremacy. You're supposed to take on racists if you call yourself being a good person. You don't get credit with us just because you say racism is bad. I know some racists that tell you racist is bad. I know some bigots that'll tell you that being a bigot is a bad thing. You don't get credit for that. And if you think that anybody sitting there is going to give you credit for saying something that's fundamentally true, you're crazy. You don't get credit for that. Like you're the only white person that ever spoke up against racism. Get out of here. And speaking up for it doesn't mean you change the damn thing. Well, let's continue, man.
I'm the guy that took on every single time somebody was threatened in this country. The only white boy you know who did it. Period. Out there. Every single time.
Now you know for a fact. This is what kills me about some white folks, man. Don't talk to me about you the only white boy. What is that? What is that? You're the only white boy out there doing. I don't even want to hear that. Well, what is that? It's supposed to be endearing to me because you call yourself a white boy? Get the hell out of here. That is so corny. It drives me insane. It drives me insane. You know, he was hanging around Barack Obama for 8 years, and now he's walking around trying to be down. Don't talk to me like you're trying to be down. Talk to me like you're going to be effective. And don't talk down to me. I'm the only white boy. Well, if you're the only the only white boy out there doing anything, you wouldn't be out here talking to these brothers and sisters. I'm not sticking up for white folks. I'm just trying to tell you, you haven't done anything. You're the only white boy. Shut your mouth. That's good point.
So look, all I'm saying here is, guys and ladies, we're on the same exact page. The same exact page. We talked about closing the racial wealth gap. That's the single biggest thing I want to get done. It's the ultimate equalizer, no matter what else happens. Because I plan on spending over $15 billion to provide for opportunity for young black entrepreneurs to get them off the ground, black farmers to be able to own their own property, young people being able to get their first $15,000 down payment on a home, making sure that they have an opportunity to gain wealth. We can do all the rest of this unless the black community is able to make up the wealth gap, in my humble opinion, is real trouble. I support same-day registration. I'm the guy that extended the Voting Rights Act for 25 years as a United States Senator. Before, Sherilyn, you were even involved. I started off, I'm much older than you. That's why I got involved in politics. The assault on the black vote and voting rights across the nation has never been more ugly than it is today. You got to go all the way back to the original Jim Crow to get where this guy is. If in case you haven't looked, we have the largest voting right, Kristen, my operation, 1,000 lawyers, bigger than you or anybody else out there on voting rights. 1,000 in this campaign. Not a joke. 1,000. So I want you to know, I understand this. I know, look at the 38 cases that have been brought against my being president of the United States. All about phony actions. And so I think there should be same-day registration, automatic voting rights. I've been pushing, and I got a number of people that contribute significantly to the effort down in Florida to make sure that federal prisoners who serve their time have every single right restored to them. That's been my position before it was anybody else's position.
Let me explain something to you. Biden has been integral in putting those same brothers in jail. You don't get kudos for trying to fix what you already broke. You were integral in putting these brothers in jail or setting up the apparatus that put them in jail. So you don't get credit for that. You don't get credit for, in hindsight, destroying people's lives. And you know that there's a disparity in the justice system as it comes to mass incarceration of black men. You do understand that. And you were integral in that. Now you come back, well, I'm going to fix what I broke. The damage is done now. The damage is done. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. You don't get credit for that either. Let's move on.
I've been out pushing that. In addition to that, I think it's really important that no one goes to prison for a drug offense. Nobody. They go into rehabilitation. That's what we should be building, rehabilitation centers, not more prisons. I have a $20 billion record that I'm proposing.
So where was all of this rhetoric in the years up until the time you ran for president? What you've been doing things for 25 years for niggas. All of a sudden now you want to talk about there should be rehabilitation. I thought that's what they were before. When you were throwing all them brothers in jail, you wasn't thinking about rehabilitating them. You were thinking about putting them away. Now you're all about rehabilitation. And you still got all that bass in your voice. Let's move on.
To get states to change their sentencing guidelines so that there's no more mandatory sentences across the board. In addition to that, we're talking about having diversity hiring in every agency. I promise you that is going to happen. We're just getting started here. Police reform, judicial reform. Look, if you notice, when I was chairman of the Judiciary Committee and when I was advising the president, who did we get on the court? We got on a woman who worked for me, became a member of the Supreme Court. Another woman who was a leading Hispanic in America no one paid attention to is on the court. All the people that I pushed on the court have been really pro-civil rights judges across the board. And I, like you, the idea, Kristen, that everybody has to be a prosecutor. I'm a public defender. When I'm president of the United States of America, we're going to see to it that public defenders, federal defenders, get paid the same as federal prosecutors. Mm-hmm. So we can attract people. There's a whole range of things I guess I'm trying to say here. Look, the whole idea of equity is built into everything we've done. For example, I laid out my COVID team. Nobody's ever done this before. We're going to have.
So didn't President Obama have a COVID plan? A pandemic plan. He had a pandemic plan that he tried to give to Trump, and Trump just kind of tossed it out of the window. So now you're taking credit for Barack's stuff? It was Barack's COVID plan because of Ebola and SARS. Let's keep going.
Marcella Nunez-Smith. But yeah, she is going to have one job. We have an equity task force. Her entire job is to deal with the inequities that exist because of racial discrimination. And Ms. Campbell, that's what this is all about. Making sure that. You may remember, I'm the first person, black or white, who called attention to the fact that you were finding that there was the rate of people who are African Americans who are dying was 3 times that of white people. That's because a friend of mine, a white guy who happens to be, as you well know, Derek, the mayor of the city of Detroit, called me to tell me about it. I insisted that we keep a record on everything that happened since then. You guys, guess what I'm saying, guys, is, I mean what I say. The hard part here is I'm going to have a lot of trouble. We're going to have a lot of trouble getting a lot of this done with this Congress. And so the question is, for example, I'm going to be appointing at least, and look, the reason I'm not telling you who the other black maybe cabinet positions I'm going to appoint are is because they'll get out, and guess what? I can't defend them. They're going to be out there by themselves without any defense before their name. They're going to get ripped to shreds. That's why I'm going to wait. You will be pleased, I believe. You will be pleased to see there'll be more African Americans in major positions within a cabinet in major spots and more Hispanics in major spots than ever in American history.
You know what else is funny? Is when they try to lump other ethnic groups in with us like that should appease us. That's fine and dandy that you're going to have this most diverse cabinet. I really don't care about that. To speak about Hispanics in the same breath is that I don't care about that. It's not that I don't care about Hispanics, because they are my brothers and my sisters in the Israelite community, but the love isn't reciprocated to any real degree. We can love Hispanics all day, and they don't love us back. I do love my brothers and sisters in the spirit because they're Israelites. That's what I believe. But in this particular world, they don't really love us back. So you saying that doesn't really sway me one way or another when it comes to stop. You don't just lump us all into one big group of people because you say blacks and Hispanics. Basically, you're just saying people of color, which could be anybody. And we can't continue to be moved by the fact that you keep bringing up other minority groups. We just can't. Our message gets diluted. So for you to even say that to me, for anybody, it shouldn't even be impressive at all. That's just my take on that.
That's going to happen. I promise you that. And the other thing is, for example, thus far, for example, when we went ahead and we made sure that, I have as, the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, but at number 2 is Wally Adeyemo, an African American, who is the number 2 guy with real authority at that department. Look underneath, just what we're doing in addition to the people we've already named. You're going to see people, look, and Cecilia Rouse, Cece, she is a significant player. That's a serious position. But it's like when I named her, well, I don't know if that counts. I'm not so sure. Well, if it doesn't count for y'all, well, the hell with y'all. But because it's real. It's real. So all I'm saying is look at us, judge us based on what we do.
To hell with y'all. To hell with y'all. Which is really how he thinks. Look at all the stuff I'm doing for you niggas, man. Look at all the stuff I've been doing for you niggas. I'm giving people with some power, some symbolic power, and if you don't like it, to hell with you. To hell with you. These are the people that pander to us, and we take it. These are the people that pander to us and listen to his resume. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's not much has changed as far as our condition in this country. You can put Trump had Negroes in his cabinet. Trump had Negroes in his cabinet. Obama had Negroes in his cabinet. Bush had Negroes in his cabinet. Clinton had Negroes in his cabinet. Nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. Because the Democratic platform is not a platform of real change for the African American person. You can see the disdain that this man has for us. You can see the disdain. You can see the patronizing way he speaks to us. You can see it. You can hear it. You can feel it. To hell with y'all. I'm not even going to go. There's more in this video. I'm not even going to go more into it. I think you get the gist of what I'm talking about when it comes to this type of thing. And so, why am I making this video? Why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Because we as African Americans, African descendants of slaves, not any other ethnic group, not any other ethnic group, African descendants of slaves. Okay? Foundational Black Americans. Tariq Nasheed, he can explain it all to you. Go watch his videos. We can't keep allowing people to tell us what racism looks like. White people cannot tell us how we should feel about it and accept all their fixes if it ain't something substantial. What did my man say? Tariq say? Tangibles. Tangibles. I don't care about his symbolic positions you put people in that are just going to perpetuate the same Democratic talking points that we've been dealing with since the Democrats somehow became the party of Black folks. The same party rhetoric and the party line. He's been at this, what is he, 20, 30, 50, whatever years he's been doing this, and nothing substantially changed. And now he's running down this resume of things he's done that's helped us. And if we don't like it, to hell with you. This is the reason why we can't continue to be Republicans or Democrats. If we're going to play in this governmental playground, if we're going to play in this little governmental playground, we got to start thinking about ourselves, just like the Hispanics do, just like the Asians do, just like the Caribbean brothers and sisters do, the African immigrants, the European immigrants. We got to start thinking about ourselves as an ethnic group within ourselves. That's not hate for anyone else. We can't keep thinking about social movements like the LGBTQ movement. That's a what is it? It's a watering down, because I can't think of a better word, of what needs to happen for African descendants of slaves or foundational Black Americans from this country. We've been here. We've done it. We can't keep worrying about other people's civil rights and the tangibles they're getting. I posted something on Facebook earlier about Martin Luther King talking about what the government was doing for white immigrants as far as farm subsidies and training and monies and bank loans. These are the things that they specifically did for those people. They're not doing the same things for us. Immigrants can come to this country, whether it be a Caribbean immigrant, a Latin immigrant, whenever they're able to come here, African immigrant, European immigrant, and they have tangibles they get. There's land and money and finances and resources that they get. Low interest rate loans, things that we are not even able to get because of whatever apparatus has been put in place. We don't get those. We don't get those because we're expected to be equal to white people for the most part. Just pull yourselves up by your bootstraps because you're equal to us. That is such a lame ass excuse. And even he said that the things are not level. But his fixes aren't fixing anything. The things he's talking about are not fixing anything tangibly. We're going right back to the same thing that the Democrats have been telling us for decades, if not centuries now. At least half a century or more. It's not the same thing. And this, I cannot get off the fact of how he's talking to these brothers and sisters. They're just sitting there listening to it and they're nodding their heads. And I Black folks, we can't let him off the hook. We can't let him or Kamala Harris off the hook. They've got to do better. They've got to do something and they won't do it. But they should be doing things if you're about your game, so drastically different than the way they've been doing it. And we have to compel them. We have to compel them. Because if it were another ethnic group or another social group, they would be in the streets every day talking about tangibles, not just who shot who or who killed who or who's put in jail. They're talking about tangibles. They're talking about things they can touch, things they can build on, land and money and loans, and to fix what you broke. Fix what you broke. And it's not about people trying to get a handout. Fix what you broke. It's a damn shame that an immigrant could come to this country and do what better in 3 generations than we've been able to do since 1865. And we've been here. You got people that got here in the 70s, immigrants, black and white, that are doing better than the African descendants of slaves, foundational Black Americans within that time span, and they look at us like we're crazy, like we don't know what we're doing or we're lazy. No, they're stacked against us, and he's integral in it. He's integral in it. I don't care what you say you've done in 25 years. You could tell just by the way you talk to us. We just be thankful for what you're giving me. Be thankful for what you're giving us. And we've got to put these people on notice. We don't have to vote Democrat, and we damn sure don't have to vote Republican. We don't have to vote independent. And if we do go vote independent, it's got to be, we have enough power where we can sway things in our way to such a degree that we have to be dealt with, that we have to be listened to. There's another video or audio out there where he talks about it, 2040, white people are going to be the minority. Tariq brought it out. Who's going to run this thing? If they're the minority, who's going to run this thing? And we're not ready. And they haven't helped us to get ready. And they're not thinking about helping us to get ready. The contempt and the disdain that in his voice and the way he's dealing with us, or dealing even with them, should be dealt with in the next election. And we need to start thinking about that right now. Right now. Not later. Right now. Don't get caught up in the fact that you wanted Trump out of there. Don't get caught up in the fact that you wanted Trump out of there. Trump wasn't the worst thing that could happen to us. He's a clown and a racist, but we've had clowns and racists in office before. He wasn't smart. He's not a smart guy. But Biden's smarter than he is. And Biden could cause us a lot of trouble. And we got to hold his feet to the fire. We've got to get him to work for us. We've got to compel him to do some of the things that need to be done, not just because he feels like that's what he should do. We have to let these politicians know we have the economic power, we have the vote power, that we have the sway in every way, shape, or form. Do what we want you to do. It. Fix what you broke. Help us. We'll help you fix what you broke in us. We can't just let Kamala and Biden, Harris and Biden get in here and just run the same game they've been running on us for the last 60 years. We can't do it. It can't happen. We got to do better, guys. We got to do better. So with that being said, it's late. You guys like this video, share this video. Like and share this video. If you like the content, if you like what I'm talking about, if you like my face, if you like whatever it is, my voice, whatever it is, like and share this video. Share with your friends and tell them to like and share the video too. I'm going to do more content. I'm going to be bringing this stuff out. I'm going to try to motivate all of us to do the things we need to do. You know? So like and share the video. Support your writers, black writers and bloggers. Don't just look at it. You know what I really hate? I hate people that will look at something on Facebook, look at the video, and they'll comment on it, but they won't thumb it up. I hate that. Don't comment on my video, but don't even give it a thumbs up. That's ridiculous. Like you want to be part of the conversation, but you don't want to validate what the information that's being put out. Like the video. Put a mad face on it if you don't like it. Give me something to work with. And share the video. When you go to YouTube, like and share the video. Subscribe to my video channel. It's Original Man Concepts Diatribe. That's what I do. Go there. I took down a whole lot of content. I'm going to be putting more content. But like and share the video, guys. And subscribe. Because I'll be putting more content out. And we're going to have these conversations. So if you like it, do that. If not, I don't know what to tell you. You're not helping brothers out. You ain't helping black people out. Because I've done so much for the black community. So anyway, take it light, guys. Kam Yasharala, it's a new Sabbath. It's a new Sabbath. The new moon Sabbath, anyway. And I will see you guys on the flip side of this thing. I'll be coming back sometime this weekend with some Bible stuff. For those of you who are interested, I have a very pointed way that I want to talk about the scriptures. It'll turn a lot of you off, which is fine because you're not in the spirit anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, but those that care, tune in. I'll have something for you this weekend. So again, Kamya Surala, and we'll talk later. One.